Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z,
And I'm Keith.
and we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. Get ready
What?
to rumble.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say that.
Oh, is that trademarked?
Yeah.
Is Vince McMahon
really?
going to cancel us?
Not Vince McMahon.
Oh.
It's that guy, that announcer guy. I don't know his name.
Oh, he owns it?
Yeah.
Well, good on him.
Wow.
But I think it's specifically Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Oops.
Bleep it out.
Just bleep out.
Like isn't the phrase "Back to the Future" copyrighted?
Yes, it is.
Really?
It is. I
What
put that photo.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is it that one?
Oh,
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Oh.
It's
Director's cut.
yeah, it's like it just says like late night showing of Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
I put a copy of that for sale and it got taken down for copyright infringement because it says it's an image that says Back to the Future, even though it is not. It has nothing to do with anything. I mean, it says Back to the Future, but it's not a photo of the poster have anything to do with
Right.
it. It was, and it just wouldn't because it says Back to the Future.
Was the DeLorean in it?
Nope. It's
Okay.
just
It's
it
just the
literally is
marquee.
the
It's
marquee
the
that says
marquee
Back to the
from
the
Future,
arcade.
and that's it.
Well,
but
no,
we
had the DeLorean,
Oh,
so I
yes,
didn't know.
yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like, there's
Right.
nothing. There's nothing.
Right,
in
it's
it.
just words.
It's just the
Yeah.
marquee that we did together.
Okay.
So yeah, the phrase. Yep. And I had to Google it. I was like, can a movie poster? And I think it was like Back to the Future. Like most of the time, people don't do that shit. Like,
Yeah.
even if you have like a unique movie title,
Yeah.
they don't do it. But for some reason, Back to the Future specifically trademarked their movie title.
Right.
So like it can't be
Oh, they did toys and shit.
right, but lots of places
I mean, I
do
just bought the
toys.
DeLorean.
Right, like lots of places do toys and they trademark
Yeah.
memorabilia, but like their actual phrase
Right.
or like the actual title, they don't do that.
Forward thinking.
Well, I mean, it's just like, like the U of I. They trademark a fucking eye. How
Oh,
was that?
really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
the block eye, yeah, like if you're making something and you want it to be like Illinois related or whatever, but you don't want to go to whatever that place is called
Mhm.
and buy something, it has to, the eye cannot look anything like a block
my
eye,
God.
like the
Oh
block
my
eye.
god. That's crazy.
It's not. Well, now the University of Illinois is trying to be, because they're University of Illinois Champaign Urbana or Urbana Champaign.
Yeah.
For some
Right,
whatever.
right, yeah.
Mhm.
They're trying to actually have their name changed to just Illinois, not University of Illinois, not College of Illinois, whatever, just Illinois. I'm like,
Trademark, and then
is
the state will
not
have.
trademarked or something? Like, is that how
But
does
I
that
hope
work?
that I hope that they trademark it to Illinois, and then the state has to change its name.
To
Yeah.
the University of Illinois.
Yeah,
at
UIUC.
Urbana
Yeah.
Champaign.
The state of Illinois. That's crazy.
Welcome back, RW.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Thanksgiving. Hey, and it's 420.
Oh no.
Smoke them if you
Haveth
some.
them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smoketh if you haveth.
Doug Benson over here.
Honestly, I
Yeah, he does a lot of weed.
I was like,
That's his whole stick, man.
I know. That's what I mean. Z knows.
I do.
Because of Bob's Burgers, because he's always cameoing on Bob's Burgers.
Is he?
He's the one that plays the drug agent in the blueberry
Oh,
thing
no
or whatever.
Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Sorry.
Never knew that.
Side quest.
It was like it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I realized that Andy Milonakis, is that his name? Was the voice of Neptune on Adventure Time.
Oh well, you're.
And I was like,
out of my area there.
I don't know who any of those people are.
I just
Andy Milonakis is like.
Oh well, yeah. You showed me the guy who voices Neptune.
I don't know why I don't like anything. Like, if Andy Milonakis is involved, I'm like, that's okay. I don't really care.
Where'd he come from?
And he was just
he
one
a
of
child
those.
actor?
He was just one of. He was a big fat kid that would like just say outrageous things. Like, I mean,
like on Nickelodeon or what?
He's like.
No, it was more like Jackass era, I think.
Yeah. He was not a kid though. He was a full-on adult. Like he's older than me. He's in his he's like 50 or something.
But didn't he look like a kid or something?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was.
I think he has one of those like.
He's got reverse progeria.
No, remember that?
Like Benjamin Button disease.
Yeah.
No. What's that? Remember that Law and Order?
But stuck in
the
the middle.
girl that's like
12
or whatever is 17 but looks 12. I think.
Oh, like The Orphan.
Kinda. I think it's like there's some sort of. I can't remember what it's called, but I think he has something like that. I don't know. I just don't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy his brand of humor.
No, I didn't either. Yeah.
And so like, and it's funny because Neptune, you might have seen it. It's like the toaster oven that the Ice King like, and it just throws pies. It's fine.
It's like a foreign language.
But Neptune is like Bimo. You know Bimo from Adventure Time. Yeah, Bimo hates Neptune, and like. And it's like this.
Everyone hates Neptune.
Kind of. And now I'm like, no, I'm on their side. I'm Neptune. I never really liked Neptune that much, but once I found out Andy Milner, I was like, I don't really like Neptune. I'm like, it's pretty valid to hate Neptune. Actually, I feel like it's pretty.
But I like Doug Benson though.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I don't whatever.
I always try to get my dad to listen to Doug Benson. I don't think I ever have, but. My God,
that's
speaking of
surprising. I would feel like your dad would like that.
I'm sure he would, but he just doesn't.
Right. He's
really. I don't know. It's like the whole time I was home, all we watched was like. First of all, huh?
Blue Bloods?
No, no. It was all like like Pawn Stars and
yeah,
American Pickers and. Some knife making show or sword making show. I don't know what the hell it was. And then what was there's some TV show. What the hell was the show? There was the show that he kept. Some show that he likes that's got. Oh my God, that guy in it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That I didn't really care for that much. And then. Some other show my mom likes that was okay. It has Betty White in it, but like, I don't know. It was just like to me, kind of an exploit of Betty White. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And
that's how a lot of her late career seemed like
just
to me.
Like, oh, she's still alive. Let's get her to do this thing and just be rude.
Yeah, right. Get it? She's an old lady acting naughty.
Yeah, she's 800 years old and she says. Poop.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I saw a clip recently that I think it was from Craig Ferguson where she had like some big muscly guy in bondage gear that she like took off stage or whatever. I don't know.
I miss Craig.
It was out of context, so.
Craig Ferguson.
I like Craig. I liked.
He was in Bloomington recently. We're still coming.
Oh, I do remember hearing he was going to be somewhere around here. Yeah, I like watching those. I can watch those like I don't know what are they called, compilation like videos where it's like the same,
Oh, right, the same person.
The same
guest.
Guest.
Yeah,
there you go. Just like all their appearances back to back, and I love. I don't know if it's right or wrong or whatever, but I love it whenever it's like, Evangeline Lilly or somebody, like some like really beautiful woman or whatever, and like their like little back and forths and stuff. I just think it's so cute.
I just like Craig. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
And I remember, it's funny because I was thinking about it last night. I was thinking about Craig Ferguson while we were watching the movie last night because Amy Yazbek is in it for like 2 minutes. She's the girl that comes up with the fur coat.
Oh, okay, that's who that is.
And
But yeah, go on. Sorry.
From the movie we watched?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. In the car?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the fur.
Claudia? Claudia Larson? It's Jenny Drewer. Jenny Johnson Drewer.
Jenny Johnson, homecoming, queen?
Yes!
So Craig Ferguson, I used to watch him like every night. Like I used to watch late night like all the time. And there was this one night he walks out and I was like, oh fuck. I'm like something happened. I was like, oh God. I was like, I don't know what it is. And he was just like walking out and they're playing the music and he's like, my dad died. And so he's like, I still wanted to do the show, but we're doing completely different than what.
Oh.
And so he just had people on who, like, he had Amy Yazbek on, and she was married to John
To
Ritter
his dad. Oh,
when he died. Like they had got married in the 90s and they were together, and he died suddenly. You know, it was a very tragic thing. And so he and her were just having this discussion about grief, how you deal with people dying, like what's it like? He was like, what advice do you have for me? And he was just like talking to people like that, and I was like, and that's when I was like, no, this dude's fucking, I was
Yeah.
like, this dude's fucking cool. I was like, I like Craig Ferguson. That it's just, and I think too, I saw this clip from, like, I don't remember seeing this, but it was way back when like Britney Spears was like all that drama was happening around her.
that one time.
Well, like she shaved her head and she was
Okay.
going into
Yeah.
rehab and like all this stuff. And he, like, it resurfaced because people were like that documentary came out about her and like all the shit that she went through and like all the fucked up shit that was going on. And this clip of him talking about Britney Spears, like, I don't think it went viral. Maybe it did go viral. But he was like, she's a child. He's like, she's a kid. And you guys need to fucking stop
Yeah.
because he was like, she is going through some shit. He's like, I don't know what. Obviously, she's going through some shit, but she's a fucking child. He's like, you don't understand. Like, if it's the last time, like, she ever, like, you know, tomorrow she might not be here. You know, he was just like, I was like, damn. He's just a good guy, man. I like him. But anyway, it's funny that I watching.
I totally missed him when he was on.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know about it until.
I just would catch him every now and then, but I feel like it was just whatever time it was. I was just doing other shit, you know. But like now, I love nothing more than to go back. I mean, it's like, I would compare it to like Graham Norton,
Yeah.
except for the format. I mean, you know, the format.
Yeah. Well, I think, there was I think that was something that I really liked about his show was that he definitely didn't try to be too cookie cutter. Like, he didn't try to
Oh, I
do
mean, he
the
did
same
everything he could to go against the network. I mean,
fucking, what is it, the skeleton that he had?
Yeah.
The fucking, oh my
Yeah.
God. So stupid.
And the horse.
yeah, there was the horse and the skeleton, and then they had the heads on the wall. Like there was a rhino and I think a zebra.
I was just
something.
bummed I didn't
just
even
kept-
know
He
when
just
it was
kept
on.
like adding. They just kept
Yeah.
adding care, and then that like
I would have loved it.
Yeah.
that one the back and forth with like she was supposed to be like the showrunner, but she wasn't really.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like they did other stuff with her as well,
Mm-hmm.
where she would come out and be all sexy or whatever. But he would just say stuff, like
Mhm.
he would like kind of like breaking the fourth wall, even though it was
Yeah.
not really a fourth wall because
Right.
obviously,
It was a fifth wall.
yeah, kind of. I mean, like talking to the actual like people that ran the show, the
Let her
producers
do
and
that.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Letterman would talk to the stage manager directly.
Do you remember when it was around the same time that Conan O'Brien did the Walker, because like Walker went into the public domain or something like that, or like I don't know, it was something it went into. There was some reason that they could play Walker
Like
footage.
Texas Ranger?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he had this like lever.
Oh.
And that's like the
I
first
do
place that I saw
kinda
the
remember that. Yeah.
he would, and it would just
And it
play
would
the
just
most
play a
random
random-
fucking
yeah.
scene. But it wasn't like they actually, you know, like it was like, oh, it's a surprise that what it's gonna play.
Yeah, of course.
But that's the one where it's like Walker told me I have AIDS. Like that's the first time I was like, I mean, I'm sure I saw that for the first time when I watched the fucking show, but
The network probably
yeah, they like bought
got
it or
the
something.
catalog or something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, they came back out with Walker. So
Yeah. And then he pulled it again. He
Jared,
pulled it one time.
Jared Padalecki.
He pulled it one time, and Chuck Norris actually just showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Speaking of that, not Walker so much or Chuck Norris, but Jared Padalecki. Padalecki made me think of it because of the Walker reboot or whatever. We know they rebooted MacGyver,
Oh, yeah.
which I never watched. I don't
Same.
know anything about it, but I didn't know, and I just found this out the other day. I still haven't watched it, but they've done like a new Quantum Leap that's supposed to be
Yeah.
related to
Jim
like
from
it's
The
like
Office.
he's in it.
It's the guy the Asian guy that played. That
Oh
pretends to be
yeah.
Jim.
Okay, well, I was like, I definitely would have probably watched it if John Krasinski was in it.
No.
Speaking of John Krasinski,
Do we have to?
Oh,
oh really? I
Oh.
love John Krasinski.
he's such a fucking piece of shit.
Is he?
Well, he's just a.
Why can I never?
It's fine.
anybody.
He's just like a shill for the fucking U.S. military.
Oh, the
It's
Jack
really
Ryan
fucking
shit.
Disgusting. He does the
Oh,
whole thing of like joining the military is good, actually. Ugh.
I've
that
never
shit.
seen any of that. I mean, I don't
I don't know. I haven't seen. I can't
don't know
remember
that I
all- but
necessarily disagree with that, but
It's
uh,
terrible.
But I don't know. I haven't seen it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, it's just I'm anti-imperialism, and he's pro. So that's all.
I don't know. That's all over my head
False.
because I don't know anything about that. I just know I watched a movie called If that he wrote, and it's fucking amazing.
Who is he in it?
Yeah, he's in, well, is he in it? Ryan Reynolds is the main guy. He is in it, but he's like the dad. He's not like
When's
in it.
from?
Huh?
When's it from? Like
Like
what year?
last year ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
Last year or so.
Oh,
It's
this
him
year.
and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
It's about imaginary friends. Hence the name If.
I gotcha.
And it is the sweetest, most amazing fucking movie. And I don't know. I didn't know he wrote it until like the end. And I was like, oh shit. Okay. Well, that makes sense. And I always hear, I guess I hear more about the only thing I know of John Krasinski is, I know him and Emily Blunt are married. And I like anytime I hear either of them talk about each other, it seems so real and fairy tale and amazing. I've
Yeah.
never heard him speak of the military.
Well,
I know
he's
I've seen some of his. I saw like that. Was it 13 Hours or something? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
No, something. There was some military movie he was in, and it was amazing, but it wasn't really like. It was just about it was like one of those true story things.
Yeah, I can't remember specifically. I just know that he's.
And I've never watched any of the Jack Ryan stuff.
Yeah, he just like anything that's about the army that's created, or like anything that's about like the U.S. military in any capacity. And he is basically funded by the U.S. military, so that it's like basically like propaganda, and it's funded, and people get paid to like. So like if you're doing anything, unless it's like I would say like unless you're in a movie that just like has like a short scene with the military or something, like the end of fucking Jurassic Park 3, like that was 100% funded and overseen and done by the U.S. military, but like the people involved with it weren't in any of those like scenes or anything. So I don't think that counts. But like most of the time, if someone's like in a film or a TV show about the U.S. military, it's pretty
Yeah, they're
guaranteed.
fully involved.
Yeah, that they're going to be like, they're trying to recruit people and get people to join and blah, blah, blah. And it's very horrible and bad.
I don't know. I didn't know about any of that. So that kind of ruins my whole, I can never watch television again, I guess.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Home for the I thought this movie, I thought this movie was about Christmas. I didn't know it was about Thanksgiving.
Same difference.
Well, yes. But my thought was like, oh, it'll come out Christmas. And it's about Christmas. I'm like, that's perfect. It's about Thanksgiving. But I'm like, well, we're talking about it.
They mentioned Christmas.
They did. They did mention Christmas.
Oh, shit. Deck the halls. I can't wait for goddamn Christmas.
They also mentioned Boston.
They did?
Yeah, it's where Jack lives.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Oh, wait, where is she?
And Leo Fish. That's why.
Yeah.
Leon Fish. That's why it won't work.
Because
She lives
she's
in Chicago.
New York or Chicago. That's right.
Where are they at?
They don't say, but it was shot in Baltimore.
Okay.
I don't think
'Cause
it's
I
ever
thought they
said.
I thought they were in Chicago. I thought she was going to Chicago.
No, that's because she works at the museum. What's it called?
She flies out of Chicago.
What's that?
Oh, okay.
You know, the big famous museum in Chicago. I don't know what it's called. But that's
Chicago
where
Museum.
Is that really what it's called?
I think it's like the museum of.
Is
It's
it
the one where they shot the relic.
the Met? No, it's not the Met.
That's in New York.
Yeah, that's in New York. I've been there.
There's
It's
not
the
more than one. That's
the
not
museum-
a chain.
it's the
Met
muse-
isn't a
no.
chain museum.
There's
It's the
the what are they?
The
what's
Guggenheim.
line
Met Gala?
the Guggenheim.
on Archer. It says the opera or the.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
She says both or whatever.
yeah. Gotcha.
it's like the Natural History Museum or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. No, I know.
I'm
But
just saying it again.
that Dora used to go like every week.
no,
Dora.
I know. I just don't remember
Not
what
Dora.
it's called. I've been there.
I've not been there, but I don't like Chicago. So
I do like Chicago, but
everybody, the reason that I don't like Chicago,
I don't want to live in Chicago.
Oh well, definitely not. But the reason that I don't like Chicago, that Chicago leaves like kind of a bad taste in my mouth, is because anytime anything weird happens, like say at work with the union or
Mhm.
or whatever, like the union guy one time basically told one of the girls that worked there that women coming into the workforce like ruined something or whatever, like in front of people.
Amazing.
Out loud, and like basically the boss man said, like, blamed it on him being from Chicago,
What?
like that, like not like in a forgiving way,
Yeah.
like that's just how it is, like that,
That's just how they talk in
he's
Chicago.
a South Side Chicago guy, that's just how it is.
Oh
and
man.
this and that, and I'm just like, man, and I've heard that about so many different things.
Oh, weird.
Of people saying, well, I mean, but that's how it is in in Chicago. It's
I
always
feel-
South Side Chicago too.
I feel
whatever
like
that means.
I feel like
That's racist coded.
Is it? I don't
I was
know.
gonna say I feel like that's
I would
like
assume.
that's like wait.
Time stop. Time moves slower. So-
I feel like that's like when you say like when someone's like being extremely racist or something.
Right.
You're like they can't help it. They're just older.
yeah, right.
No, that's not an excuse.
They're a product of their.
They're a
Yeah.
product of their time. No. They can learn how to use a fucking cell phone. I think they can learn not to be horrible racists. Gam can learn not to use the N word.
Well, now
dinner
cell
table.
phones teach you how to be racist.
That's fair. That's more than fair.
Anyway, yeah, she lives in Chicago. She gets fired. She kisses Austin Pendleton for
Which
some
is
reason.
really weird. Yeah, that was probably
gonna
the
be
only
honest.
thing in that movie that I was like,
I was like,
why?
this 100%. If I was at Crash and Burn,
She's acting stoned or
well, she's
high
acting,
in some
yeah.
capacity.
Well, I was like, if I
Is
was
she on
at
cough medicine?
Well, I
She's
mean,
sick?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
she's sick. Yeah, so she's and nasal spray is addictive,
Well,
Word.
which it really is.
I'm
but-
like, I know that it was weird, but I'm like 100% that would be me. Like if Austin Pendleton in 1994 whatever was my boss and he fired me and started kissing me, I would just be like, okay, yeah, I guess that's what we're doing now. Like I would just be like, that's how the day's going, so fine, whatever. It made sense to me. It was because of the absurdity of everything that was going on in that scene. I was like, no, I get this. I know that it was like weird, but I don't know. There was something about it that I was like, I buy that actually. I don't know. I don't know why. I was like, I get
Because
it.
you're a weird pervert.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but that would have been more understandable if she did something weird and pervy. She just
Yeah. Well, he kissed her first.
You
And
think
then
so?
yeah, because he said, I don't know why I did that.
He said
that's
that,
what
but
everybody says. I mean,
says
in the
that,
movie
but,
fashion of whatever.
I felt like she was. The
She
instigator.
definitely was the instigator. I
Really?
think. I'm pretty
I
sure.
thought it was him.
That's why I felt confused by it because
Right.
of his reaction. And
I
then how
thought-
they talk about it is.
Well,
Doesn't she say she kisses?
Yeah.
right, because she kissed him back. Like he leans into her,
Oh man.
and then she like goes for it, and then they both are kind of like, what the fuck? And then he says, I don't know why I did that. And then she's like, I kissed my boss, because she was not like, get off me or anything like that, or like, it felt like it wasn't something.
Listeners,
fellas,
text 1 for yes.
I don't know. I just
She
feel
gets
like it
fired.
was very-
Claire Danes is her kid.
Yeah. Which I mean, I've seen this movie before, of course, but
You have?
like when it first came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd seen it too, but I didn't.
I would watch anything with Holly Hunter in it.
Oh, okay.
She was one of those
One of your
big time crushes. She still is, really, but except for she did that Grace show and I hated that. And then Claire Danes as well.
yeah.
She's another.
I definitely thought
She
she
was
was
a-
hot when
Oh,
My So-Called
This
Life
was
was on.
this was peak My So-Called. This was like, she's got the dark hair,
Yeah.
and she probably filmed this around the
and
same
then
time that she was doing.
Felicity cut her hair.
I remember that too.
But
Remember when she goes to the bookstore to get a sex book and the title she's looking for or that is suggested is called Give Me an O?
Who does? Who are you talking about?
Felicity.
I've never watched Felicity. I
Oh,
just
okay.
remember when she cut her hair.
Fair enough. Sorry.
I never watched the what's it called? My So-Called Life or whatever.
Mhm.
I never saw that either.
I never saw it when it was on.
See,
I watched it.
I'm a late to Claire Danes convert, I guess.
Interesting. I was
like-
obsessed with Romeo and Juliet when it came out.
Now I was
Right.
obsessed with
Obsessed.
Romeo and Juliet. That was
Obsessed
where
with
I
Shop Girl?
No.
Shut the fuck
that
up.
was where I first saw her.
Oh, wow.
Same.
And then they did that. What was that like? It was in an airport, and they were like accused of like smuggling.
Oh, Broken
or
Down
whatever.
Palace.
Yeah, that shit.
With my doppelganger,
Yeah.
Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, and I was
Yes.
like, yeah, I like this. girl.
And then, but I didn't see My So-Called Life until I was a full adult, and it hadn't been on for like a decade or whatever.
Yeah, I think when I even knew it was a thing, just seeing like whatever a trailer type of thing of it, I was like, no, this is not a show that I don't think I would
Oh
like.
God, I love
Yeah.
it. I honestly love it. I watched it.
Yeah,
and
I was
like,
too old for it, but I watched it anyway.
Yeah,
no, I
I mean,
was
I'm like that with a lot of stuff, but
it was actually really, it was really good. I think, oh God, what's his name?
Yeah, I never remember his
Oh
name.
my God, why can't I think of his name? Ricky. He
Ricky.
played Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky.
Fuck.
Ricky Stanicki.
No, God, why can't I think of his name?
He's on
He's
Discovery.
always he's always fucking Ricky to me.
Yeah.
That's like
Forever.
but like 1994, a television show
With a gay.
with a Hispanic kid who's gay.
Right.
And like that was like a huge, it was just like I used to watch, it was really good. Like it had a lot of stuff. You think it's going to be like teenager-y.
I remember
like,
being heavy.
I mean,
as
like
fuck.
art,
exactly. It was like really,
RDJ gay or like.
no, like I will be homeless if
Oh, okay.
if
Cool.
if anyone finds out.
I think
kind of
that's
thing.
probably why I never like wanted, not because of the
No,
gay thing, but because it seemed too like emo kind of thing for
Yeah.
me, and it's never been my thing to.
And then it had Jordan Catalano. Jordan Catalano was Jared Leto. He's Jordan Catalano. I loved it though because
I hate
she
Jared
was like
Leto.
same. But that he plays like the kid that she's like obsessed
Sure.
with and is like madly in love with, and like he kind of like
Cruz.
it's Wilson Cruz. Why can't I? If like, and the thing is, if I'm talking about my so-called life, Ricky, like it's just Ricky, and I'm like, that's who he is. And then Wilson Cruz, I'm like, oh right, Wilson Cruz the actor. Like I don't, they're not the same person to me. I know that's fucking weird, but anyway, so like she, it's all this stuff where like she finds out that he's like, he can't read because he's like severely dyslexic or something like that. So he has like, he can't really read. And so she's like, she knows that about him. And it's like, oh my God. But then like, as the show progresses, she starts to see that he's very vapid and
Yeah, they date, right?
Yeah, like it's like a.
Or is she like tutoring him or something
like that. So, like nobody knows, but like she finds out, and it's like a thing that they share, And it's like, but I love how because like the more
like,
she gets to know him, the more she's just like, I think I've idolized you, know.
Right.
Yeah.
And he starts to lose his charm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like that.
No, that was.
I'm like, ooh. Because, it's fucking Jared Leto. I don't care about
And then you got
him.
Brian Krakow.
Krakow. I couldn't think of fucking Krakow.
He was on Felicity. That's why I thought of Felicity. That's my alibi for thinking of Felicity.
Oh, isn't that, you said he played like a rapist on Felicity?
He doesn't, well.
You tell me that, and I...
He does a date rape. I don't think that he knows
he
that
does a date rape.
On Felicity.
What are you doing this Saturday?
And
a date rape?
I don't, it's one of those things, like it's like a very special episode.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I think he knows that that's what he's done.
Like when Spike rapes Buffy.
Yeah, well, almost. He never does.
Well, right.
Yeah.
No, I think that's different.
No,
really?
Well, it's different, but...
I mean, also, I know it's different, but
no,
like,
but yeah, I know it...
It wasn't a plan, like it was...
Nobody was a vampire on My So-Called Life, first of all.
How do you know that? How do you...
Okay,
can you
that's
really...
fair.
Yeah, okay?
Fair.
Think before you ask questions,
I think he made a statement.
I like that Claire Danes is in a different movie.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Very My So-Called Life. It does feel like she's just...
She's just on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
really
100% just a cameo.
I know, yeah,
but
that's
not,
really...
but she's not...
Yeah.
At the time, wasn't that kind of...
Yeah.
person that would do a cam, you know what I
mean?
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't at cameo level yet.
Right. But it was still like a total cameo.
But this
I'm sure, I guarantee
you, cast is a cameo. Like this
Yeah.
whole cast is insane.
But is it really insane, or is it because
it's because Jodie Foster?
Is it because we're watching it now? Versus
and
in
Bancroft.
And Bancroft.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well, at the time, he was doing heroin.
Yeah, that was...
On set.
He was doing heroin on set.
But what I'm saying is, that's because he had already been famous, and now he's on his downgrade.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure, who else was it?
Dylan McDermott.
Fucking...
Yeah.
You were... Gutenberg?
Oh, yeah, Steve Gutenberg.
Stephen Gutenberg.
I've no idea what his deal is. I'm so curious / repulsed.
I know. I'm so repulsed
I'm curious,
by him.
but I don't...
I know that that's so mean.
Wait,
I'm terrified to find out.
Or him?
Gutenberg.
The actual guy.
Oh,
only because
I gotta stop talking to you guys.
No, because
I don't know anything. He's just like super roided out.
Yes, he's like
for the last 20 years.
Like he's all like how Carrot Top's all like bulky and shit. He's not quite that bad, but I'm like, ew, I don't know why.
I guess I've seen him and
yes, if you like,
I only know
Google
that because
he shows up and he's just like old. He's got that like old face, and I'm like, ew.
It's wild. It's wild.
Well, I mean, it's
weird.
Maybe he's trying to get in Expendables 5 or something.
Maybe. I mean,
Oh,
he's probably
God.
fine. I'm just
Yeah, right.
terrified that he's.
so it gross. Like visually, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like I feel
I only know
like
that
a
because when I
horrible
watch
person.
Party Down, he shows
Oh
up. in-
God, I'm
Does
so
he?
grossed out by that.
in the
I
second
know
season,
that
I
it's.
think.
I don't know what it is, but like
I don't remember that.
if you have, I don't know why. Like the fucking Rock's always been like muscular, always been. So him being doesn't weird me out. I
Right.
mean, like I'm not like attracted to him or anything, but like
I
it's
am.
fine. But like someone like Terry Crews, he's always been like that.
Oh,
So, fine. But when someone wasn't like
Right,
that,
yeah.
and then as they
Yeah,
age, they
right.
start to become that way. I'm like, ooh,
It-
it grosses me out.
You
so
just
much.
don't see it.
I mean,
It grosses me out so much. I feel bad.
Sometimes the people that were always like that don't age well either.
Oh, for sure.
No, yes.
I mean,
that's
like
always.
I mean, Stallone
But I'd rather-
looks insane.
Oh, God,
oh
he
God,
does.
oh my God, he. Someone needs to take the filler away from him, like.
And the
he-
camera. Just quit making shit, bro. I know you don't know what else to do with your time, but
I don't know. Spend it with your fucking family, your
gross.
6 blonde daughters or whatever. I don't know these guys. Didn't
Love
they have
that
like the Stallone? They had like the Stallones or something like that.
Oh,
He
they
had-
probably did try that, didn't they?
the fucking Hogan's. I used to watch the
like Terry Hogan,
Terrence?
Hulk Hogan and
Terry.
Yeah, and his Brooke, his
Oh, okay.
daughter. Yeah, I used to watch that show.
She did porn or something, didn't she?
I don't remember.
I know. I mean, I know he had the video where he where he was too fat or whatever. Like when he said something about being too fat.
I
don't
don't
remember.
That. Yeah.
You're not thinking of Alec Baldwin calling his daughter a fat pig or whatever.
No, there's a Hulk Hogan thing where he's like,
Wasn't there a sex tape?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. And he talks about being
Oh!
fat and they
Oh,
had just eaten like a bunch of sushi or something and they were about to like get down
Yikes.
and then I think he
Have
had
some
to,
more sushi?
either had to quit or something or
Oh my
Why
God.
would you be recording yourself then?
That's hilarious.
I mean, that's reality.
So Home for the Holidays. I've seen this, but when I was watching it, it was like I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. But like I couldn't tell you what was gonna happen next or anything. But I like
I don't know that
Oh,
I
I
was ever
definitely- yeah.
aware of it.
I definitely don't, I only saw it probably once again around the time that it actually came out. So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I didn't even
Right.
remember like Robert Downey Jr. was in it.
Right.
that's the reason why I watched it the first time. So I knew he was in it.
Well, so
I
yeah, and
remember
the
the
reason I
fucking-
watched it was for Holly Hunter.
The fucking car thing. I was like, all I remember, the only thing I could remember was that there was like a scene where like he
It's fucking
pulled
funny.
up really fast or like drove away. I couldn't remember what it was, but I knew that there was something involving like
That car is
her going to get into a car.
Yeah.
whole
God,
character.
The fucking, I
It
know
really is,
when
yeah.
when there's just
Yeah.
the Amy Yazbek scene where they're just
Oh
going,
yeah, and they're just back and
fuck.
forth. Yeah.
I was like, this shouldn't be funny, but it's
Yeah,
so
right.
fucking hilarious. Kudos, Jodie Foster.
Get in, stupid.
What
Makes
what
me
is
think of
it?
this John Hamm in Bridesmaids.
Why do you keep saying Jodie Foster?
She
Directed it.
directed it.
Okay, I don't look at that crap.
No, when he was like, guys, we're gonna be late. We have to get there.
Come
And
on.
he's like,
Seriously.
please, God.
Bryce, I mean, come on! This is ridiculous. Aunt Gladys waiting. We gotta go. Let's go. Clyde, come on. Come on. Come on, I'm serious. Come on. Come on. Come on, Clyde. Leo. Come on.
I wouldn't do that.
Because they cut
So
right
dumb.
then,
Yeah,
like they
right,
did it.
exactly.
It was. I was like, this is so fucking funny.
So dumb. You know
So
it's
fucking-
coming.
Yeah. And Robert Downey Jr., like, this is something I kind of miss about pre-Iron Man. Not saying pre getting clean, but pre like,
You're right, right.
Marvel.
Like post Brat Pack,
Yeah.
pre.
Well, he was so like he could do the thing of like making that I'm a sucker for it. I feel like you can do something like this where you just make you can tell that someone's like trying not to crack and they're like but they're able to deliver something a serious line.
Yeah.
But you see their face and you're like, I don't trust you. And so he's like saying like he's like, come on, we're gonna be late. And I was like, oh my God, his face. I was like, you can't tell. Like, you can tell that there's some, you're like, oh, you're lying, or you're like.
I really thought they were good. I didn't know what they were doing with his character. I fully expected him to be like bipolar and that he was going to switch at some point and be just absolutely crash
No,
or
this
something.
was a little early before that.
Was a trope?
Yeah, before that 90s trope. I remembered the fucking Auntie Chaplin when she,
Gladdy.
yeah, when she was going, I was like, oh, right, I remember her being a fucking weirdo.
Just a wackadoo. Yeah.
The proto Aunt Gail.
Love that. Yeah, exactly. I love that necklace. Did you make it yourself?
Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
Your plants are so beautiful, Aunt Gladdy. How many do you have now?
210.
That's a lot.
Want to see a really big boil?
No, thank you. Not today.
Oh. Here. I hate a lot of lipstick. Your mother uses too much of that orange goop that all the prostitutes love.
Yeah, Geraldine Chaplin, daughter of Charles.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep. Which I did not know until I was watching this movie, and I was like,
Wonder if that's like, I wonder, might be stupid, but you know, there's like, what's the movie where he did Charlie Chaplin?
Chaplin.
Was it Chaplin?
Yeah.
She was in it.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Hopefully she played her mom or something.
No, she played her own grandma, I think.
Her own grandma. Okay.
Oh, fuck you.
Anyway, we got mom is Anne Bancroft. Dad is Charles Durning,
That's
who,
who it
for listeners of our program, will remember from Best Little Whorehouse.
Listeners of our program. Yeah.
Was he on Evening Shade?
Did you ever watch Little Britain?
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know the skit?
We've talked about the only gay in the village.
Well, that's, yeah.
The only gay in the village.
There was, I don't know why. I used to do this for my dad a lot. There was the one where they had like a little inn that people, like a bed and breakfast or whatever.
Yep.
And they would ask a question.
Yes.
If you were to ask me on a Monday, I would say, yes. If you were to ask me on a Tuesday, I would say, yes. And then he would, and they'd be like, shut the fuck up. What? Just answer the question. And then he would go right back to the beginning. If you had to ask me on a Monday, I'd say, yes. And I don't know why. I used to do that for my dad. I used to be like, if you were to ask me on a Monday, I would say, yes. So when you were like, was he on Evening Shade?
He was.
I really wanted to.
Yes.
I did really. If you should ask me on a Monday, I would say, yes. It was so stupid.
I mean, that whole show was stupid, but that's what made it amazing.
Was he? Wait, was he?
He was.
He was. I wanted to say yes.
As
because,
well as Michael Jeter.
Oh, fuck.
Isn't he like a baseball player or something?
No, you're thinking Daryl.
You're thinking of
Daryl
J-Lo's
Fetterman.
ex-husband.
Who?
Derek Jeter?
No, whose ex-husband?
J-Lo?
Matt Damon.
No.
No, Ben Affleck.
Matt Fleck.
Matt Fleck.
Matt Flick? That's what I call my clitoris.
Why?
Because of
Because you flick it.
Fleck.
Oh, all right. It's gross. Cynthia Stevens is the sister.
I suppose Seaway. She does a voice on King of the Hill, and that's the line she says.
Which one?
Like
is
that. She does. She just does like random voices, but I know it because she has such a fucking annoying voice.
That episode
she
is
says-
that's the one where Peggy becomes a nun.
becomes a nun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
Has that new one come out yet?
no.
Oh.
No, because what's his name died. I don't know.
What's his? Oh, yeah.
Johnny Herbert.
Yeah. Dale.
Dale. Yeah, but somebody had a real clever way of fixing that, and I can't remember what it was.
Was it artificial intelligence?
God.
Oh no, it was giving Dale one of those.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give it up. Yes, Cynthia Stevenson played Joanne, who was married to Gutenberg.
In the movie.
In the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that side of the family.
No, I loved them. They were my favorite part. Most relatable characters. Cash is king. I love that little narrative, that little monologue he does.
I'm so sorry. Your phone is going to fall off.
Why are you sorry?
Because it's going to make me anxious.
Dylan McDermott,
Yes.
Leo Fish.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Because they say it a million times. I don't know.
Well, I know, but there's something.
It
I
was
swear
weird.
there's some other movie or something that has somebody,
Well,
like some mob movie or something maybe that has somebody named Leo Fish.
well, there was Fish played by Abe Vigoda on
right.
Barney Miller, and
But I mean specifically this Leo Fish.
I don't know.
You know, like a Goodfellas type of movie or something.
Could be.
I don't know. Who knows? Whatever.
Hey Siri.
No.
Your boy Strathairn,
Oh, yeah. David Strathairn.
As
Who is
the-
in.
HVAC guy.
Yeah. Is
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah.
yeah. He was in it for like 30 seconds. Playing like, the guy she didn't like. Okay. Yeah. David Strathairn.
Playing the saddest guy in the fucking world. Like, I wouldn't want to be near that dude.
If he looked like David Strathairn,
I mean, I'm not.
strangle
That's
me with his
fine
sadness.
that he's attractive and all, but man, it was just like story after everything was. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? Shut up, dude. Like, if he didn't talk, fine.
Yeah, I don't have anybody anymore. My brother and sister got canned and they left town, and then my parents went and died on me.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, it was a car wreck. It was last summer. Drunk driver. He cut right across the, the Meridian. And pow, head on.
Yeah, there were a couple scenes like that where I'm like, I'm not sure what this adds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't mind it.
No.
It didn't really take anything away. But
Yeah.
The thing that movies like this always make me kind of, the thing I'm always a little bit like, I will say the Charles Durning, when he answers the phone when Tommy or whatever called.
Jack? Oh, no. No,
Yeah.
Jack is
Jack
Robert
is,
Downey.
No, Tommy's Robert Downey.
Tommy's Robert Downey. Jack is his husband.
Yeah, Jack's his husband.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he answers and he was like, I think I mean this. And
Yes.
I was like,
I know. That's really sweet.
whew, I was like, oh my God. Whew. I might cry. Yeah, that part got me. But other than that, all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I think something that I don't always like, she gets fired from her job and then she goes like from work to the airport to her parents' house, and it's just constant, like something is going on.
Yeah.
And then she goes, and then she's at the airport.
They go to the store. Then they
I'm like, what?
Oh, why she does spend the night before.
But I'm like, I'm like, this is so, I'm like, why
People
would
live
you
that way.
go? I'm like, why go to your, I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
I don't relate to that.
I'm
Well,
like,
I don't-
why?
And that's the whole thing with the movie is like, yeah, like Claire Danes.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of where people finally started to, like, this
Yeah,
was
no,
the
that's true.
time when
That- yeah,
people
yeah.
finally started to realize that family is not necessarily.
You don't
I
have
mean,
to
you
do
know,
it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what.
No, that's a good point, actually.
I mean, I've not been here. I've not been to see my family on a holiday
Mhm.
since I've been here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's the most hectic, ridiculous, dumb.
Right.
I don't care time. Even
Mhm.
like the thing, I went back for their 50th anniversary. That's what I went back like the other week for.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, even just that little bit of it was the worst part about it. you know?
Right.
And I mean, they had a great time and it was awesome, but it's just like, I don't know,
Right.
you just have to, and I don't know. It was better than it would have been had it been like Thanksgiving or something like that.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't even know how they do that stuff anymore, like with since COVID and whatnot.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we were always very, like I say, the big 50 to 70 people Thanksgivings and the, you know, Christmas. We did a very specific, like, you know, it would always be like the second week in December. We would have this side of the family Christmas thing at
Wow.
somebody's house or whatever, and it'd be fairly big.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like Christmas was just our you know, just
Right,
us.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And we would go see like my dad's side of the family, but that was always a smaller thing anyway. You know, these very traditional kind of things,
Yeah.
and they weren't. Nothing was as crazy as anything
Right.
like in any
Yeah, yeah.
movie or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, you know, that is. I would imagine now, especially like, you know, since the first Trump presidency,
Oh, yeah.
like, I don't think that I have those people. Well, I know I do have some of those people in my family, and my dad's side.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any on my mom's side, but I don't really know, and I don't want to find out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, I have a cousin who's like a big Trump supporter, and which boggles my mind because of like the rest of her family.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because I do like family, you know. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those shitty family
Yeah, yeah.
that I never want to see or talk to or whatever. But, but yeah, I would much rather just go home on a Tuesday.
No,
You know.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
right,
Right. Like, that's the thing where it's like, if you, like, I think, I mean, but that's a good point that you said with, like, the Claire Danes.
Yeah.
There is, like, a 2 minutes in the beginning when she first gets there, and she's like, why aren't you calling, you know, your whatever her daughter
yeah,
name?
yeah.
She's like, why aren't you calling
Kit,
her? And she's
Kit.
like, she told me she didn't want me to.
Right.
And she's just like, she could be dead. And she's like, she's fine.
Yeah,
Like, she asked me not to call her. She asked me to, like, give her space. And she's like,
And the whole thing of being like, you know, if I didn't talk to my kids and not know
Right.
that they weren't dead in a
Yeah,
ditch
yeah,
somewhere,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
how many times my mom ever said that to me,
Right.
you know?
And so that's a good point that it's like, it is showing that, like, and she says something when she said it in the movie, I was like, I had a hard time understanding, like, the actual words, but what it sounded like she said was like, but that's me and you're
Right.
you.
Right.
So you're not going to do what I do or something like that. And I was like,
But it was
Oh.
not in a positive
right.
manner.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it wasn't supposed to be passive aggressive, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's a good point that you're saying. That's
Right.
a good way of, like, framing how, because, like, a lot of times what people don't realize is, like, how you raise your children, like, a lot of times they're going to try to correct that with their kids.
Right.
And then, you know, then they'll do the
Overcorrect.
same.
I mean, even the whole thing, like,
Yeah.
in the beginning where, you know, like, as she's going to the airport and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, Mom,
I'm going to have
going to
sex.
sleep
Yeah.
with my boyfriend this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weekend. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it wasn't
Right.
quite
No,
that.
yeah,
but I mean,
but she's not, like,
basically, it's just like,
she's like, oh, I know that I can't. She's like, I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but I can't, like, I
Yeah.
know that if I try to stop you, that's not going to do anything.
Well, more.
it's such a weird background generational
Yeah.
thing that
Yeah.
they did that you don't really, I don't know, it's not really part of the story, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the sister, Joanne, I
Yeah.
think when she freaks out about Tommy, and she's like, you're so, like, she's like, you're so disgusting, and I don't know, you're perverted, and how you can do that. Like, she was like, I have friends in Boston. Like,
Did you ever consider
Yeah.
yeah. And she's
That was
like,
the
what if-
weirdest thing to me.
But I was like, oh, wow, yeah, that really is that sort of, like, when you are doing something, like, so much of her assumption about everyone else is projecting her own shit. So it's like she's taking him being queer as a personal attack.
Right.
She's taking the fact that, like everything that someone does is like, you are personally, like, I don't know, it was like a very interesting thing, because I was like, this makes sense as to why, because I was like, oh, that's weird, like, at first, you know, when she, because I don't know, there was something where I could tell, like, I knew that she had a sister like in the movie, but then she was calling her brother and being like, her little brother and being like, I wish you could be there. And I was like, that's kind of weird because I was like, I assumed the sisters would be closer, and then, he's gay and she's an artist and the sister is traditional in all these ways. And so it's like everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. They're doing this thing where it's like, or they're showing you that sort of like, like how siblings can be so like have such be like not be close for a reason.
Yeah,
like
right.
It's not just like you lose touch. Like sometimes it's because you can't be around that person, or you don't want to be around
or
them.
you're just not the same person. I mean, you're not the same type of person.
I like that you get that scene where they drop off the leftovers or whatever. And,
yes, when
she's working out or whatever in the basement.
But I was
going to say, she needs to kick that fucking kid in the face.
when she's like
Brittany,
something that I was like thinking about while the scene where Joanne is like going the fuck off on Tommy and being like, you're disgusting, and I'm like, Jodie Foster was doing this, like homosexual Jodie Foster was making this, and I was like, how much. Like, I'm curious, like, how, because she was, like, I don't want to say she was closeted, because, as she said, like, she wasn't. She just didn't publicize.
Okay.
She wasn't, like, hiding who she was. She just didn't say, she didn't want to actually talk to, like, news outlets about her sexuality.
I didn't know, because I haven't read anything about it. All I know is from you, basically, so I thought she was just a late comer, as it were.
No. As far as I know, no. There's this there's this famous interview of like when she was like after she filmed like what's that one with Robert De Niro? Taxi. After she filmed Taxi, they were like, "What kind of boys are you attracted to?" Taxi Driver. Okay.
I thought I was like, wait, that's like
Taxi was a TV show.
Right. But they're like, "What kind?"
Thank you very much.
They're like,
"Thank you very much."
They're like, what kind of boy are you, like, what kind of boys are you attracted to? And she's like, no. She's like, no. They're like, do you have a boyfriend? She's like, no.
Wasn't she like 13?
Yeah. But like,
that's inappropriate regardless.
No, for sure. But this is like the 70s.
Right.
But they were like, what kind of, they're like, do you have any boyfriends? She's like, nope. and people are like, oh, they're like, little Jodie Foster. She knew. She knew what she was.
When we did Interview with the Vampire, I watched clips of like people asking Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah, like if she
enjoyed kissing.
Yeah, people.
Tom Cruise or whatever.
My favorite part is that she's adamantly being like, it was so fucking gross. Like it was so gross. He was like, she was like, his lips were like chapped. It was nasty. And, like, they didn't even, like, full on, like, they weren't, like, open mouth kissing. Like, he just, like, puts his mouth on her mouth. I mean, it's, inappropriate. I'm not saying it's up. But, like, it wasn't, like, some, like, crazy thing. And she was like, it was fucking gross. I always thought that was really funny. Anyway, but I was, like, thinking about, like, Jodie Foster. I'm like, I wonder what kind of, because she's like in her 60s, I think, or 60 or something. Yeah. Or around 60, something like that. So I'm like, yeah, she would be like the age, they were in the film. She would be like. Yeah. And so I'm like, I wonder if any of this is like.
Oh, I think so. From what I read, it is based on a story. They got somebody bought the rights to, and, there was a screenplay she read, but. She did rework it, and there was like a 2-week rehearsal period I think they had, and where she took a lot of feedback from the actors.
Yeah.
But she definitely inserted her own experiences.
Yeah. But I was like, it made me like really like, I don't know. It made all of that like, it made it feel like, I don't know. It almost hurt my feelings like when I was watching it, like to watch. I'm like, oh, she wasn't. This was real for her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that it wasn't
not an outsider.
Right. It wasn't and so I was like, oh my God, like it felt more real. I don't know. I think because, you know, she was, I mean, again, I don't think she was like closeted, but she wasn't out.
Right.
And so it was like, you know, like people didn't know, and she's doing that in 1994, and you have like an unapologetic gay character that's not tragic gay. He doesn't have AIDS. He's not dealing with any of that. Like none of that is happening with him.
Right.
He's a regular guy. Like there's
I was
nothing
say,
about his character that's like stereotypical.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he? I remember when I was like, is he playing gay? Is this character supposed to be gay?
Yeah, when he first comes in, I'm like, I wasn't sure either.
Yeah, when he takes a picture of her
it's, you know, I get that there's.
I almost feel like if he was told to play gay, it would have been way more camp and like
potentially,
you know,
yeah.
Just because it's Robert,
you can imagine
Downey
him
Jr.
doing it, doing that.
Because I mean, I do think he is a ridiculously good actor.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Even though he's, you know, whatever Iron Man. I mean, even as Iron Man. I mean,
no, I just think like,
good Lord,
he's great. Like but I just mean like I think he's not gonna play and this is gonna sound like judgy. I just mean like I feel like once people get to a certain caliber of acting, or like, you know, they're not gonna play a character like Tommy, you know, or like you know. So that's more what I mean. Like pre-Iron Man, he was doing more things that were like smaller roles or juicier roles.
Oh,
or
well,
something
sure,
like
yeah.
that. That's more what I meant.
I think that's making a big comeback though.
Yeah, I mean, people will always do stuff, but I feel like I just feel like movies like this don't exist in the same realm anymore.
But also at that time, nobody in there was, well, Holly Hunter was probably the most
biggest name
at the time.
Yeah.
Like those other,
biggest
you know, the
celebrity.
older actors, they were huge names,
Right.
but not a draw
It's
for, for that generation.
Blockbuster, yeah.
Right.
I didn't know who Dylan McDermott was until like 5 years ago. So.
Yeah, and he looks exactly the same in that movie as he does right now.
It's ridiculous.
Whereas Robert Downey Jr. looked like a chubby little kid. And now he's, you know, fucking Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's weird how people.
And Steve Guttenberg looks like character.
Right, whatever. Yeah. And Holly Hunter, like.
I haven't seen her.
She's. Well,
since
even
Saving Grace.
I was going to say, even if you look to like Saving Grace, but like, you know, she looks the same.
No, yeah,
but she's like, but haggard, which I
right.
like.
No,
I
I can see her aging.
I love like a haggard,
like similar to Jodie Foster.
Yeah, no, like I don't know,
like in a beautiful way, but like still kind of.
Holly Hunter has this like I don't know how to describe this. She has like the most insane mouth shape. Like she doesn't have big lips.
No,
but like I'm like I've never seen anyone with a mouth like this. I'm always like so like it's so.
I mean, that's why she's the only person in the world that talks like Holly Hunter.
Right? Yeah. That's true. And she's got such a strong jaw, and she's just and like
and her sousson of an accent.
Yeah. She does have a similar. There's a Jodie Foster to her. I'm like, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't think they
conflated them.
I don't think they look alike, but I feel like they're the same type of person.
Yeah, but we were talking about this.
I don't know how
during
to,
the movie. Like
they would
like her as an actor, but I don't like.
I feel like they would trade clothes or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Let me borrow that.
I don't. Oh, would you recommend?
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I usually hate this genre of movie.
Yeah. I was a little worried.
I did check out as soon as she said, I let him slip away because I knew what was going to happen. But
just that little touch of the romantic comedy or whatever. Yeah.
When they all.
Well, I almost thought they were going to let it.
Yes, I was
happen,
like,
and that would have been. Okay,
I do think that they did really good at keeping it short and sweet.
Oh yeah,
yes.
He shows up on the plane. You have the montage of all the separate happy families,
right?
Which made me cry. And
that's one of the reasons I checked out.
I
got to stop having emotions now.
I got you. Totally understood.
But yeah, it was I was a little worried it was going to be one of those like family. There's nothing
Right.
like family. But I was like, "Oh, I wonder how it's going to fit like Jodie Foster being,
Right.
the director." I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in I don't know what else she's done."
She directed Little Man Tate before this,
Oh, that's right.
which I've seen and I loved.
I've got to rewatch that.
Yeah, let's
because
rewatch that.
Remember that? It was like there was like one season of that stupid basketball cartoon with the guy that was Nick on New Girl. He voiced.
Nick.
He's the
Jake Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like he would every single episode he'd be like, "There's a film called Little Man Tate," and he'd be like, "I was on my iPad watching Little Man Tate." He just talks about that.
Awesome.
That like multiple times every episode, and it was so stupid. I was like, I don't know why, but ever since then I'm like, man, I gotta rewatch Little Man Tate. I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah.
But there was only one season of that fucking cartoon, but every episode he was
forgot about you watching
Little
that.
Man Tate. It was
Speaking of Jake Johnson, have you seen him lately?
No.
Something happened.
Uh-oh.
To
Is he
like
ripped?
his nose or something.
Uh-oh.
And he looks completely he looks like a doppelganger of himself.
Stunt double.
Something like that. Yeah, it's really weird.
Maybe he just got a nose job.
No, I can't remember. Because
Oh,
I watched the movie and I was like, is he wearing like a fake nose or something?
Uh-huh.
And I like kind of Googled it a little bit.
Like Bradley Cooper in that. Remember that?
I do remember that. What is that?
Oh, yeah.
Bernstein. He played Leonard Bernstein.
But I like Googled it, and there was some kind of I don't remember if he either fell or something. Nothing tragic or anything. Just a normal accident.
Not a Jeremy Renner. Got run over by his own snowplow. Remember that?
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Weird.
He like almost died. It was very
critical condition.
Yeah, he like legit
difficult to say anything like that. But it might have even been like a weird fight thing or something.
Oh.
Like not like he was trying to be in a fight, but something happened and somebody
fucking Pavarotti.
Yeah, some dickhead like
what's the word? Paparazzi.
Yeah.
Not the opera singer. Not one of the three tenors.
God, that guy probably would flatten your nose if he hit you.
Oh yeah.
Or fell on you.
I Googled.
Maybe I made the whole thing up. I don't know.
Jake Johnson nose.
Okay.
And
leprosy.
Says
coke usage.
People also ask, is Jake Johnson dyslexic?
Gay.
And so it says this is
his nose.
Just this tidbit. Listen to me. I know that you're riffing, and I know that I know. Let's go. But I'm trying to read something.
Well, that's very Jake Johnson.
I'm like Robert Downey Jr.
It's very Jake Johnson of you. Jake Johnson, he does those like totally improv movies.
Oh, does he?
Like where they're just given the basic, like the premise of the movie, and they make
While further honing his writing at NYU, Johnson had 3-act structure drilled into his brain. Though, as someone with dyslexia whose brain is not structured, he fought the lesson hard in terms of the stories he tells. He's not interested in in-depth backstory, but rather the arc and growth of a character. What?
Thank you, Chat GPT.
I was going to say, what does that have to do with his nose?
I don't know, but I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I might have made that up.
I just learned that he
dreamt it or something.
After some wine, I ended up on a drunk history. Little tour.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I thought you hated that show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I can't watch a lot of it at once.
I don't think. Yeah.
I mainly like it because
you like. Have you seen the Passion?
Yeah. It's a lot of the guys from like the PFT improv stuff.
Yeah, there's definitely some overlap.
Yeah, there's some really good.
Like Craig Gurkowski, I think is one of the guys. Anyway, but the premise,
or thrilling adventure hour type stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jake Johnson was like one of the how the premise got birthed.
Oh wow!
Was he was telling the story to the main guy.
Oh,
he was telling a historical story
While he was
He
drunk?
was like, it should have taken 2 minutes, but I was drunk, so it took 45.
Nice.
I used to really like when it was just a YouTube thing or whatever that you could watch. I never watched the TV show they did of it.
I just remember the one episode. Well, I'm sure I've seen more than one.
It is gross sometimes though.
Episode
when they show the after effects. I don't know. Maybe they don't do that on the TV show, but
they they had to in the middle of the episode, in the middle of the story, this guy threw up.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh. I'm like, how? And he threw up, and then he's like, I feel better, and went back. I'm like,
Yeah, I've always felt weird about it because of like, what are the? But apparently, it's very, especially once it got picked up or whatever.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Very strict and very.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, it's just like any of the things. Like, I mean, I love used to love the Hannah Hart, like the drunk kitchen or whatever, and it started a whole thing of like drunk people, people getting drunk and doing shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Because then you could see in some of it, whenever Hannah became a lot more produced or whatever, you could tell there was a lot of catch up at the beginning, where she's really chugging them at the beginning to try and get to the point that she,
oh god,
to the original video point. Because the original video was just she wanted to make a grilled cheese and she was lonely. I think she had just moved to New York and was doing translation, translating Japanese or something like that. And so she didn't really have any friends, so she video called her sister and made a grilled cheese with her over the thing, and she was drunk, and she recorded it, of course, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it really was a neat
but
thing.
Didn't it go viral? It went viral because people were so, it was one of the earliest things that went viral.
And that's why she became, my drunk kitchen girl. Yeah. And now she's she has Food Network stuff and books and shit out. And she's a huge,
it's crazy.
What's her name?
Hannah Hart.
Hart?
Yeah. Hart. Yeah.
Like fart, but
not. And then Mamrie Hart, who is not related.
I was gonna say no relation,
but they're really good friends. And
I think I've shown you some Mamrie stuff.
I wonder if they're.
She does.
Either of them are related
cocktails.
to.
Yeah, she makes the
I've shown you
Hollywood
Mamrie
cocktail
stuff.
type stuff.
She does she'll do.
She does.
Yeah.
Tiny
Mamrie.
Mouth. Tiny
Mamrie,
Mouth. Mamrie. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is to kind of bring it full whatever. Mamrie Hart is the daughter of
Kevin.
No. The guy. Okay. Do you remember the show? Oh no! How did I just forget the name of the show? It was
King of Queens.
It was no. It was an old cop show in the South.
Mississippi Burning.
No, that's not a cop show. Mississippi. Isn't it Mississippi something? No.
Heat of the Night. No.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Is that it? With Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was in the Heat of the Night.
Okay. Carol, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Channing.
So the guy, the balding deputy guy or whatever that's from that movie or from that show. I watched that show a lot when I was a kid. I guess it was just my error, but that's her dad.
Okay.
Which I always thought was really cool because that was a show that I really liked.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I just remember she was talking about, she wrote a book, and I watched this video where her editor, sent it back to her. She wrote it and she sent it to her editor, and they sent it back with their revisions for her to look over.
Oh yeah.
And they changed jizz to jazz because they didn't know what it
was. Okay. That makes sense.
Well, one of the theories is that's where
it came from.
No, that's not true. Never mind. I'm thinking of the origins of the term jazz comes from jasmine because prostitutes wore jasmine fragrance, and that's where the musicians played. Is houses. Is one of the theories.
That's interesting.
And
David Hurt.
And they
show me his picture. I'm picturing something, but I'm like, is that actually him that I'm? Oh shit! That's not who I was picturing.
Were you picturing this guy?
Yes, I was.
Alvin Autry.
Yeah, that's who I was.
He was in something we watched. But every time you look him up, he's always in that uniform. That's his IMDb photo. Like, this guy hasn't done anything since In the Heat of the Night.
Probably not.
In the heat of the night.
With the silk stockings.
Silk stockings. Fuck me. What was the one with Lorenzo Lamas?
Renegade.
Yes, thank you.
Fuck.
You're talking my fucking era right there, man.
That was
Forgot
an
about
era.
Renegade.
That was an era.
I loved Renegade.
I don't know if I ever.
I think the
watched
reason I liked it so much is because my dad was like a Harley rider type guy, and he had long hair and all that shit. But of course, he's no Lorenzo Lamas. But
¿Quién es más macho?
with the big, I had a Duster like that.
Oh shit!
Except, and it was like the real deal. Like
Damn.
it wasn't some crappy shit you'd buy at like Hot Topic or whatever.
You can get it at Wilson's.
No, I got it at like this fucking place in Utah that like made the shit and stuff. It was like $400.
I bet.
It was crazy, and I loved it. It was a great coat. I took the thing off of it because I hate that thing.
What thing?
The why they call it a duster, like the cape thing that's on it.
Oh, it's got that. Little,
yeah.
But once you take that off, it's just a coat.
Right.
So it's
just a trench coat.
Yeah, and it's heavy as hell because it's like leather and shit.
Yeah.
And,
wearing a whole cow.
I love it.
Basically.
You're wearing a whole cow. Probably half.
It was a green cow.
Green.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like
an alien cow. I don't know. I was gonna say I would definitely recommend it.
Okay.
I loved it. I took 3 notes.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them were in like the first 10 minutes. Well, the first one was more like Home for the Holly Hunter Days.
Nice.
That's actually really good.
And then the second one was I'm gonna have sex by.
Yeah.
And then
because when
Claire Danes tells her, it was
she's like,
okay, bye.
Before you go, I'm gonna have sex. Bye.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was such a.
I heard it as I'm gonna have sex by.
Oh, like by 12.
Like a deadline.
I should have said I'm gonna have sex. Bye. And then the other one was I really wish that they would bring back smoking acting.
Oh yeah,
because there is just nothing.
So much.
It's so good,
and
you can do so much.
She just, I think she was must have been a life.
What did you say?
Anne Bancroft, I think, must have just been a life.
I think you said being angry.
That's fine. I can't be responsible.
Being angry, is that like Bing Crosby's?
What comes out of my mouth?
No, yeah, that's a.
And but then I just really loved. I just really liked. I just watched the movie.
Yeah,
which is weird because
you should watch some Hal Hartley '90s movies because Hal Hartley movies from the '90s, specifically from the '90s, because you want some smoking acting.
Oh, okay.
He makes indie films, and like we talked about it specifically the cigarette parts on the show. Like there'll be a scene, and you know how I don't know, this might be something that you notice as someone who smokes or has smoked. From one cut to the next, the cigarette will have I'm always like, could you not have just tried? Nothing like that in his films. There is no. You're like, did you just light a cigarette at the same point in each take and try to smoke at the try to because there's no there's no continuity errors with how they're smoking. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's probably just because they were always smoking and there's 87 takes at every different position.
No, really, it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know how any of these people are still around.
That sounds like very Jim Jarmushy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, older Jim Jarmushy, but still. Anything with Tom Waits in it, really. That's another thing that I feel like really adds to a movie.
Tom Waits. Agree. Dancing on the ceiling. So things I liked. Thanks for asking. I like how it goes. I mean, one thing that makes it enjoyable is it goes against the tropes of the subgenre, sort of.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if to call them tropes necessarily, but you didn't go places I expected for a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Drama. Yeah. I mean, it's got some of the things you're used to. It's going to go bad, right? There's going to be a crisis
Yeah.
where everybody just can't stand each other, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
going to be a blowout or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do like that it's like I didn't think about this at the time, but the stuff with Claire Danes being like, "Nah, I'm good," you know,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and then a lot of I feel like there's multiple conversations like with Holly Hunter, Clyde.
Yeah.
They call her, even though her name's
Yeah.
Claudia, I think.
I
Yeah.
think they call her Claude, but
Okay,
it sounds
just sounds like Clyde.
like Claude.
With her and her mom, and she's like, "No, we're just getting older. We're just
Yeah.
aging. That's
Yeah.
like that's why things are different."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like those messages, you know, as
Mm-hmm.
rather
Yeah.
than we got to keep the family together or
Right,
whatever
right,
it is,
right,
you know.
yeah.
Right, because I mean, ultimately, in the end, they just all went their separate ways, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
went back to normal life.
yeah. And you know, I think there's potentially arguments to be made both ways, but the fact that Robert Downey Jr.'s character is gay and he's not playing it any different than you would expect him to play a straight character.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
His
I mean,
relationship, like especially his relationship with Leo or whatever,
Yeah.
it was really great.
They
Like,
were
she
just-
thinks they're together, right?
yeah, but they were just buddies.
They're
I
just
mean,
buds.
like, yeah,
yeah.
totally. Like no different than him and his. I mean, you know, him coming in and snapping Polaroids of his sister in the
God.
fucking shower and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
like that's just
I was real
Stupid
worried.
kid
I was like,
things.
where are they going with this character?
Yeah.
Night vision goggles, and then
yeah. And those
constantly
were
taking pictures
a
of her.
present for his dad. I mean, you know, he's just like a fun guy. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's nothing.
He just seems very manic, and
Yeah.
I was worried.
for
I was
sure.
worried
Yeah,
something was going to
but-
go bad.
Yeah.
I literally just figured that was the era of his, like, you know,
Yeah.
most drug using
Yeah.
days.
Well, and
was like, this is just what he was like then.
He was like literally like doing heroin like
yeah,
on the set.
like he
and shit
probably they
like
probably
that.
didn't even
but that's
give him
wild
anything.
to me. Like
I know.
cocaine, okay, but like
No, I know.
doing
Heroin,
heroin and acting
right.
that way,
Yeah.
fucking nuts. Yeah, apparently he was given a lot of leeway to improvise,
Yeah.
and that's what he said. It made him. He was interested in doing it for that reason, and
Yeah.
and it made him like acting again
Aw.
after, oddly, not enjoying it.
After
Uh,
he was like, I'm gonna improvise heroin.
right into my veins. The dinner scene, the Thanksgiving dinner scene, took 10 days of shooting using 64 turkeys, 20 pounds of mashed potatoes, 35 pounds of stuffing, 44 pies, 30 pounds of sweet potatoes, 18 bags of mini marshmallows, and 50 gallons of juice that stood in for wine.
Nice.
When the turkey flies at her, it was great.
Yeah.
You know
and
it's
then
going to
when
happen.
they take
but,
it off her head or take it out of her lap,
Yeah,
and,
oh
like,
God, and like
pull it
dripping
over
over
her
it.
head
Yeah.
and like totally on purpose. It's like, oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when she calls him cocksucker first thing, I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
where we're
yeah,
going,
yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah, shit's about to come out. Yeah. It's really funny though, because I feel like, and maybe I'm just crazy, but to me, like I didn't even think about that whenever she called him cocksucker.
Same,
just
I
thought,
didn't either.
That's
Yeah.
a really weird thing to say.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
I mean, you know,
just
like
period?
it just, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's a weird thing to call somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
for
then,
sure.
you know, just now when you said that, I
Same,
was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, fuck. That's
Yeah.
even part of the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in the 90s, that probably would have made more sense.
For sure, for sure.
Like
for
that
sure.
would have came out very clear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now it's like, you know, especially
Thanks to Deadwood.
especially if you've seen, I was going to say, especially if you've seen Deadwood, that means nothing. Like,
Oh man, that's why I couldn't watch that show. I'm like, it's every other word, especially that one character. I feel like. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's been a long time.
Shane, what's his name? Shane something, whatever.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, I'll watch anything with Anne Bancroft, I think. And Charles Durning is becoming a favorite.
I've
Apparently
always thought
they-
he was really funny. He's one of those like, who's the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
Boyle.
Boyle, yes, something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, he's like one of those kind of, when you really go back and you start like seeing the stuff that they really did versus the stupid shit that they do.
Right. Yeah.
You know, just because that's what
Peter Boyle?
they're allowed. Yes, Peter Boyle.
I was like, Richard Boyle? Like, that's not right.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah,
where it all began.
Yeah, it's crazy to go back and see just how amazing these people were.
Remember the Dream Team with Michael Keaton?
Oh my God! Yeah, wow.
He's in that. Yeah, he's good. All right.
Is that?
I think the editor is going to have real fun with this one.
One time around the block, 2 times around the clock, 3 times around the block, lady. So pretty, no so bold, got a heart full of gold on a lonely road. She said, I don't even think they got a heart full of gold on a lonely road. Am I gaining ground? Great face, lost and found my saving grace. Thankful for the little lady.
Thank you very much.